You can easily mistake our today's guest as a model, but mind you, he is much more charming than he looks. Meet Rohit Ashwa Chakrabarti. Conquering body image issues, getting intern at Big-4, nailing pre-placement from the same company, and going to University of Texas at Austin for his masters, he is the most humble overachiever you will ever get to meet. And today, we will talk about his journey from nailing the Big-4 to getting selected in Austin and to his battle with obesity. Welcome, Mr. Chakrabarti. Rohit Bhaiya, how are you feeling?
An amazing introduction, Ayush. I cannot stop smiling. How are you?
I am amazing. I'm glad to see you. Let's begin with the most important question that everyone has been wanting to know. How do you get selected in a Big-4 company? What are the skills that you are required to crack? What was the eligibility criteria? What was the number of rounds? And what kind of questions can you expect in the aptitude test?
Okay, so before I answer this, I'd just like to clarify that uh, I went through the whole process about 4 years ago, I think. Yeah, about 4 years ago in my third year, and I was actually I was interview my interview was for the internship thing. So there are going to be different experiences and what you would probably face in an actual full-time employee interview in your final year. But the overall idea of the whole interview process is not to see how good you are in a particular language or how many languages you know. This you'll find some students who just go berserk. They're trying to learn all the programming languages available. That is not the main idea. The main idea, the main what these consulting firms are looking for is your problem load, your team management skills, how well you can talk to people, how comfortable you are in working under pressure and all these things. So required to crack the interview would be of course, you need a little bit of technical knowledge. If you're coming from a CS/IT background, they will expect you to know how they'll expect you to know basic data structures and algorithms and stuff like that. If you're coming from a non-technical, like non-CS background, like mechanical or electrical, you're not compulsory required for you to know how to code. But yeah, a little bit of knowledge helps. They will, I guess, what happened to me was they asked me general questions, or they gave me puzzles and sequences to solve. So maybe work on those, like basically very generic questions. Eligibility. So most of these big fours, they recruit directly from the college. They especially for fresher hiring, you can get into Big 4. Like I think you have two ways of getting in. One is if they come to your college, then it's easier for you. But the other one is just keep an eye out on a careers page, and if something matches your profile or your interest, reach out to someone on LinkedIn and ask them for a referral, or like maybe just talk to them about it. And if you think it matches your profile, apply. Referral obviously helps because you get to jump the queue. Okay,
Okay,
so
so
that's the
basically,
criteria.
I need the
If
basic
like
coding skills, and for eligibility
yeah,
criteria, I have to have a certain decent amount of grades, certain decent CGPA.
I think IST Shipur and Jadavpur, I think it is 75% or 80%, right?
Right, right.
Something like 8 GB, right, right. So
Okay.
and if you're applying off campus, then I'm not really sure, but again, I think similar. Like you can expect a similar, like about 80% minimum grades or
And
something like that
and
if you're applying
if
off
someone is
campus.
applying off campus, how does the referral work? Like just approaching someone on LinkedIn and talking to them, and they just refer you.
Ideally, yes. You talk to people. That's basically how networking works, right? You know somebody who works in PwC, reach out to them. If they're your friends or something, they might directly refer you. If they're not, then like I guess you can talk to them about their experience in PwC, ask them about the work culture and everything, get to know them, and then you can maybe ask for a referral, see if they agree. So
Right.
usually people won't say no, but yeah. Number of rounds. Again, in our college, when you're sitting for campus interview, things are different. For internship, I think it's just 2 rounds, APTI and HR, and that's it. But if you're sitting for like campus placements, then I believe you have to go through 3 rounds. In aptitude questions, just keep on practicing all those like questions which are next in the series, puzzles, and questions like I don't know what they're called. Basically, you have a table and you have to seat 5 people. Bob has to sit next to Charlie. Charlie cannot sit with Dave, and those kinds of questions. Who sits where, basically. Data interpretation is basically another section also. You like charts and everything, and you have to answer that. Find out data from that, and you can answer that. So data interpretation is different. I think this table wala thing comes under logical reasoning.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
all those questions and a little bit of English, a basic, very
Little
basic
bit of
English.
English.
Yeah, my 2 cents on preparing for APTI is if you cram 2 days before, it's not going to help you. So the best way is like every day try to devote say 20 minutes just going through different kinds of APTI questions. It's just your familiarity which increases your speed. So that is the first round, APTI. The second round is usually a technical interview. So a technical interview, again, if you're from a CS background, it might be a little too, it might be a little detailed. If you're not, then they might go easy on you. But the knowledge of basic data structures and algorithms, a little bit of SQL or database management helps DBMS languages. I think that should be more or less okay. Yeah. Yes.
So now coming to the interview, I know for a fact that you were the one who, who built a rapport with the HR, and went on conversing about your travels and everything. So tell me how to do that and how to dress, what gestures are important. I know you took a session on that, so we'll love to have it here.
Yes. All right. So obviously the session was like very long, so I'll just keep it very brief. Let's go point wise, like I see on the screen, right? So interview tips. Let's go from top to bottom in how to dress. The first thing is hair, facial hair, and everything. There are many people who will say like, your appearance doesn't matter, or you should be hired for not what you look like. The truth is, in the real world, your looks do matter. First impression is very important. So just keep yourself groomed. If you're keeping a beard, make sure it's proper, everything, and yeah, just overall basic grooming. Make sure your shirt and trousers are ironed, shoes are polished, belts are proper. You will find a lot of people. There are a huge debate in colleges about whether or not you have to keep your shirts full sleeve. Honestly, I personally feel it does not matter, because you remember, like, I always had a habit of holding my sleeves up, and honestly during my interview deke bahar nikla, and I was like, okay, I had my sleeves up the whole time. But yeah, it doesn't matter. As for gestures, there are three very important there are three very important parts of communication. The first one and the most important one is body language. Second one is how things are being said. Okay, your voice modulation and everything, hand gestures.
Right.
And the last one is what is being said, the text of the conversation. That is the most, that carries the least weightage actually. That is why you'll see, it is very easy to misunderstand somebody over text. Be calm, be confident, look the person in the eye. There are many people who they have memorized a lot of answers. They start looking behind them. They start looking everywhere but the person interviewing them. Do not do that. You're having interview is basically a conversation, right? So look them in the eye and talk to them like you would have a normal conversation. um, People, you do not have just okay, there's some people who have a habit of just keeping the hands very still. That is okay. If you want, I would recommend that you move your hands a little bit. because moving your hands automatically helps you modulate your voice also. So voice modulation is very important. So I would say that, keep moving your hands a little bit. Voice modulation is important because, I mean, obviously, you go in your, you've seen from your classrooms when your professor speaks or like delivers lecture in the same, voice for over 45 minutes, everybody is sleeping in the first 15 minutes. So try to modulate your voice, pay emphasis on what you're speaking, lay emphasis on what you're speaking, and yeah, you should be good. Try to keep things interesting. As for posture, simple, sit straight, do not slouch, and do not sleep, do not lie there. Sit with your back upright, sit properly, do not fidget with your hands a lot, and do not play with a lot, do not constantly dance your legs around, dance your foot around, or tap the floor or something. Just be calm and relaxed and confident. Be yourself. Have an open conversation. That should be good. If you like this whole thing, give us a like, share this video, and hit subscribe.
Yeah, because I know for a fact that you are very camera conscious and you are doing this for me. So thank you so much. Uh,
Yes.